more of the top 100 games of all time. This is about to get top tenuous. Hey everybody, welcome out to my continuing top 100 games of all time. This time I'm in the top 50, going from 50 down to 41. There are some exciting new games on here, but also games that I seem to champion a lot. And my number 50 is one that I champion, as well as Camilla, and this one is called Draftsaurus. Draftsaurus is a fun drafting game. You're given a hand of cute dinosaur meeples, you pick one to put into your dinosaur park, and you pass the rest to the next player. You get a new handful of meeples, and you keep doing that same thing. You're putting dinosaurs out into this paddocks and trying to get lots of the same or several different ones, or to have the majority, or to make pairs. It's just so adorable, and there's one fun little wrinkle where you have to roll a placement die each round, and that gives you a restriction whether you can put on the left side of your board or your right, or in the mountain or in the rock region. That little bit of extra luck should be frustrating, but instead it makes this game even more charming, as it forces you to work the best with what you've got. This is a game that was number 82 on my list last year, and this time it's moving up to 50. I just keep playing this and have a lot of fun. It's a great family game, but also works really well with other adults, and you just sit there and go, I'm trying to get the perfect park, but I just can't quite, so how do I do it? Sounds like actually what you need is a fortune-telling dinosaur, a pterodactyl. Number 49, the first of the large box of Vital Lacerda games. Earlier on the list I had Bot Factory, that was new to the list. But number 49 is On Mars. On Mars, 49 this year. Last year it was 28, so it's fallen a few steps, and that's because it's harder to get out and actually play. I really like this one, even though it has a lot of setup and is a bit complicated to it, but one that I find to just be very rewarding as I play it. But I also recognize that this is one other people find to be complicated and difficult to get. For some reason, this one does speak to me, and I feel like I get the thematic tie-ins more, and therefore it's one that I do want to come back to. I have a lot of fun with it. Big sprawling, it's split into two halves, and so you're taking actions out on the space station side of the board, and maybe you can take the shuttle down to the planet side and do the planet building actions. And I find that has a fun little balance of when do you want to shift between the two sides, and has a neat little worker placement system. Sometimes actions don't even cost workers, but it costs other resources. Very thinky, and one that I enjoy. So my number 49 on Mars. 48 here is a brand new game to the list, and that is Vagrant Song. This is one I did not play in the year that it came out at Gen Con, but I have since played it, and wow, really like this. It has a fun token pull system, has a great board, it's a bit of a boss battler as you're moving around this haunted train, trying to restore the humanity to these haints, to these ghosts that have departed. The Phantom or Ghost Train is one of my favorite pieces of Americana folklore, and I think that this game has a lot of great thematic tie-in to that time period. The art is amazing, and I really like the story of what's going on, plus the game is really fun. It's a tough rule book, but if you can get past that, I find myself having a lot of fun with this one. I really need to play more of it. This is such an impressive, such a cool game. Go ahead and get yourself some nice coin capsules, too, for when you pull those chits out of the bag. It just feels like a little bit extra nice. I have so much good stuff that I could say. This is just such a fantastic game. My number 48, Vagrant Song. Number 47 is new to the list this year, and that's because it is Next Station London. This is a really, really compact, great roll and write game. It's flip and write, actually. I've been finding that I tend to like flip and write more than roll and write, flipping over cards each round. And this has a great idea where you're trying to build up a subway route or an underground route, and it really does look like that. Each round you're building up either the green line or the blue line or the pink line. And what I think is so great about this one is that unlike most games where you don't want these kind of zigzaggy lines to cross into each other, These ones you actually are really incentivized to have them meet at stations because passengers would like to hop off of one subway and go onto the other one. So it makes a great little map. It has a very engaging theme to it, and really at the end you look at it and go, look at my neat little subway map that I made. But also, decently thematic. It does okay with that. I'm excited because there's more games in this line that are being teased by Blue Orange. So one of my favorite companies, a designer that I'm coming to really appreciate more and more. So Next Station London. For number 46, I'm going way more into the Ameritrash side of things, and that is Kemet, Blood and Sand. This is sitting at 46. Last year, when it was first on the list, was at 40. So it's moved down 6 spaces, but there's also been a lot of great new games that have come out. So for it to sit like that, that's pretty much it staying still, really. Kemet, Blood and Sand is the second edition. I've not played the original. I'm sure that I still would have really enjoyed it. But Kemet is an area control game where you have troops marching and teleporting around the board, fighting other people, trying to hold down certain areas that are going to be worth temporary victory points. But every time you win a battle, you also get permanent victory points. And it's just a race to a pretty manageable point threshold. And so I like the idea that players are encouraged to go out and fight, but also you have this idea of trying to kind of hold some of these little locations on the board so that you can hopefully hang on to temporary points long enough to hit that winning threshold, and then the game is yours. Really like this one. I'm almost a little bit surprised that I do, but it's so well made. Like I said, going from 40 last year to 46 this year, still very impressive to me. So Kemet, Blood and Sand. Number 45, an evergreen Terraforming Mars. This is the original Terraforming Mars, and I like playing with many of the expansions, but primarily the Prelude expansion. Ares Expedition doesn't make my list, but this one I still really like a lot. It's 45 this year. Last year it was at 20, in 2018 it was 4. It's fallen a lot of spots, but what can you do? I mean, this is a game that I still pull out. I especially like playing it solo. Yeah, it takes longer, and the Ares Expedition does make it simultaneous for the most part, but I still find this one so engaging and interesting as you're sitting there trying to determine, are you going to fund an award? Are you going to race for a milestone? What are you going to focus on? What type of engine are you going to build? I like playing this one solo a lot as well, and you can set it up pretty quickly and get through a game quite fast, and I like that race. The Prelude expansion, one of the best expansions ever made, and I think essential for this one. I still enjoy Terraforming Mars a lot, so it sits at 45 on my list. Number 44 is a game that has been on my list for years and years now and really bounced around. 44 is 5 Tribes. This is one of Bruno Catala's best games. I absolutely believe that. Though there's one I do enjoy, I think, even more than this, as you'll see later on the list. But 5 Tribes is one of those first games that felt kind of really involved to me, that I just fell in love with. I love the idea of Mancala mechanisms, moving around these people, trying to claim tiles for yourself, but taking these really cool combination actions between the meeple that you drop last and the tile action itself. There's so many good things to do, and I really like the bidding for turn order, even though it usually bites me in the butt, and I end up losing because I bid too much for turn order to take really awesome, juicy actions. Like I said, this is one that last year was 86, and in 2018 was 22. So this one has bounced around all over the place. Playing it again recently had made me just kind of appreciate just how slick of a game it really is. So that's why that's my number 44. 5 Tribes. My number 43 is also an absolute classic from Days of Wonder, and that is Ticket to Ride. This is a game about collecting sets of cards, trading them in to build routes of these different colors all the way across the board, connecting places to get tickets. And tickets are worth points, and everybody loves points, of course. This is my favorite particular box right here, the UK Pennsylvania, but my favorite part is definitely Pennsylvania. The state is basically a giant rectangle, perfect for a board game board like this. But also the little additions that this expansion throws in has elevated this game so much for me over the years. I like basic Ticket to Ride in Europe, of course, but this map box adds so much. On one side you have Pennsylvania with a very simple little stock share mechanism where you want majorities at the end. And then on the other side you've got the UK Madness over here, which is upside down, which involves a technology tree type addition to Ticket to Ride. This box is wild and definitely worth your money. I really like this game a lot. 43 this year. In years past, Ticket to Ride was 66 last year. In 2018, 65. This game has staying power. I play this as an app a lot. I enjoy playing this one with family, with friends, or new people, or anybody. I absolutely love it, so that's why it's my 43 Ticket to Ride. 42 is a game that people use as kind of the golden standard for asymmetric games, and that's Root. Root is a delightfully gruesome and adorable mix of woodland warfare and animal creatures, but also just a very well-made game. I really have a lot of fun with this one. Last year it was 77, so it's moved up. I've played the app more and just been really wanting to pull out the physical version and play that again, so I'm really hoping to be able to do that soon. Root is very fun, a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but it's made approachable in part because of that great theme and great production, but also just because it kind of broke through and became the popular war game, so to speak. So I'm really enjoying this one, and like I said, hoping to play it physically again. So 42, Root. Number 41 is another brand new game here to the list as Wayfarers of the South Tigris. This is from one of my favorite publishers, my favorite duo of designers that work together, and I just really like the way that they present their games. They click with my brain. Having played so many of the other Garfield games, I look at this and I could kind of intuit a lot from the iconography, from the way that the board is set up, the spatial logic of the game. But what you're doing is building up this fantastic tableau, and there's a few layers of things going on there. You can build above and below your basic cards, but you need to build those basic landscape cards in order to have more room to recruit more people, to observe the stars afar. And I really like the theming, the research that went into this one. It's a very fun engine building game, appearing quite high on my list for a brand new game. Number 41, Wayfarers of the South Tigris. And I'm excited for even more South Tigris to come out. But that's going to have to wait until next year, where hopefully even more South Tigris is on there. But we're talking about this year. We're talking about the here and now. We are done with this. 40 more games to go. Hope that you all are enjoying it. And stick around for even more of the top 100 games of all time. Till next time, my name is Chris Yee. Have yourselves a fantastic day.